All right, Thoroughbreds, welcome back to this week's NRL episode of Penalty Broncos. We are the number one Broncos podcast that we listen to. I am Britto, coming to you from the Bandwagon Bar. We've got a glorious episode ahead of us here tonight. We've got our forward pack online. Bring it, mate. How you been?
Very good, Britto. It's a great day after a Derby win. In emphatic fashion, getting the boys up into the top four. No, been good, mate. Actually, we took the girls down to the river today with the metal detector, and they picked up rocks, and I picked up wire for most of the mornings. That was good fun. But we found one brass button, so that sort of that
Perfect.
give them, that's giving them the bug now. So everything's like shovels and digging holes and bringing me random shit. So I don't know what I've created, but I probably made a rod for my own back. How'd you go, Timmy?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Yeah, standard weekend for me. Swimming lessons and shopping, and dealing with pregnant people and toddlers, mate. So just she's a war
Living the
zone
dream.
in my house.
Living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. Some would say, yeah, no, it's all right. No, it's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good, mate. Standard weekend. Good to see two good Broncos games. I was lucky enough to be able to wrap around both. So yeah, can't wait to get into it. But yeah, Britto, what about you, mate? How was your weekend?
Yeah, mate, it was good. We went to the Toilet Bowl Stadium here in Townsville there to watch the Cows take on the Bronx. It was good. Took all the kids. They had a ball. Got in amongst it. Got a photo with Labour at the end of the game there. So the littlest fella wasn't too impressed because he wasn't a Bronco, but it was all right. It was yeah, he was a bit upset with a couple of lads in front of us that kept yelling out "Go Cowboys!" Is telling them to shut up, and I was like, "Calm down, kid. Dad can't fight." But no, it was good. It was nice to see them try a bit of head noise there at the start. They celebrated the 10th year anniversary since the 2015 grand final.
Yep.
But yeah, she was to no avail, as it turned out. Or maybe it was. Maybe the 30 points came from that. Who knows? Anyway, we'll move into it. Shout out, remind you guys that you're listening to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed and whatnot. However you are listening to us right now, that would be muchly appreciated. Okay. We took on the Cowboys for round 26 at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Saturday night, 7:35 kickoff. Has a capacity of just over 25,000, but as yet have not seen how many attended, but it was being advertised as a sellout. There was a couple of spare seats there, here and there, but looked pretty full, so I dare say she was about that 22,000 in attendance. First half, 18-22. Bronx went into the sheds only a couple of diamond moments from Reese that we went in like that. The brother-in-law went for his jog just before half time, and as he was coming back, he checked the scoreline. He was, what happened? That sort of stuff. Second half, 12-16. We won both halves, but only just there for a full-time score of 30-38. Couple of quick-fire stats here. 54% possession to the Cows, and Thoroughbreds, just a pre-warning, the stats are ugly. They're really bad when it comes to us winning and whatnot. So just bear that in mind as we go through it. It might surprise you, a couple of these things, like the 54% possession by way of the Cows, 46 to us. 76% completion rate to the Cowboys, 69% to us. Absolutely disgusting. 27 out of 39 sets we completed. Average set meters, 41.11. We won that with 46.99. Tackle efficiency, 81.57. To the Cows, we were 85.68. They made 301. We made 335. They missed 50. We missed 32. Ineffective, 18-24. The boys weren't, Scotty Drink and Tom Dearden are slippery people at the best of times. So errors, 13-17. still creeping up there. Penalty count. We still can't win a fucking penalty count.
No.
And 7 penalties in the entire game. I was surprised about that one. I thought that there was a lot more stoppages during the live.
That was just the knock-ons.
Yeah. And I tell you what, if the ref had to listen to the crowd, there would have been a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough of that. Ruck infringement, 0 to the Cows, 3 to us. On report, 1 to the Cows, 0 to us. Kick defusal, 100% to the Cowboys, 55% to us. Now, that, I don't know. It concerns me that we never get above 80% kick defusal. We're always normally sitting around that 70, but 55% is pretty bad. Loads 16 to 12, we got beaten there. Dummy passes 8 to 23. So we had plenty of support play and whatnot going on throughout the thing. Interchange, the Cows only used 6, and Cowboy supporters will probably tell us that they don't understand what Todd does at the best of times, so don't read into that. And we used 8. Now, that might have had something to do. I know we had the HIA, so we got an extra one out of there. But normally, Madge is pretty good with sticking with that 7. So it'll be interesting to see why that came about as we run through the notes, see if we can figure that one out as well. But without any further ado, Langer's mate, take it away.
Thank you, sir. Yes, let's get into it. As we all know, Thoroughbreds, Broncos versus Cowboys, the Derby, as it has been coined. Rightio, let's get into it. First minute. Doesn't take long before the notes kick off there. First minute, Cowboys number 8, Jordan McLean, loses the ball on the first set of the game trying to pass the ball. Now, it's the big fella's last game. He's retiring? He's retiring.
Yeah, correct.
Last game, and does not start the game very well, unfortunately. Broncos scrum feed on the Cowboys' 20-metre line. Staggs tries to pass the ball on the second tackle while in contact, which goes to the ground. Cowboys number 12, Jeremiah Nanai, ends up knocking the ball on, trying to dive onto it, giving the Broncos another scrum feed on the 20-metre line. So it was basically, they did a scrum on the 20-metre line, spread it to the right, chaos ensues, and then back to the 20-metre line for another scrum. In that, Corey Pakes gets his melon absolutely slammed into the ground by none other than Jeremiah Nanai. They both sort of contested the ball as it went onto the deck, and just absolutely smoked himself, or Nanai obviously helped there a little bit. He ends up going off for a HIA, later passes it, which is good, and we see him back on. But in this first minute, interchange, HIA, Tyson Smoothie comes on for Corey Pakes, who goes off for the HIA. Then into the third minute, you love to start notes like this, like we did it with the Knights. Now we'll do it again with the Cowboys. Third minute, try to Gemmet Shibasaki after Reece Walsh spins out of a tackle and passes to Shiba, who strolls over for the first points of the game. Kick converted by Reece Walsh, 6-0 to the Broncos. Lads, how are you feeling? Third minute in. Britto?
Yeah, mate, it was great stuff to see the Townsville boy cross over against the Cowboys, the Iggy Park local, as some people may know. Gamat there. This was the start of a very loud protest that has continued overnight and into today about forward passes that we scored off of. Sorry, but this one was back. Like it was back as plain as you could see. I was right there. We were basically sitting right where Corey got his melon smushed, and that boy was seeing Rodney was circling the skull there for sure. You could see him try and get up and play it off and walk it off, but he was asleep there for a good 10 seconds. So hopefully he's all right after that. There's no prolonged concussion symptoms, but to start the way that we did, Jordan McLean, dropping the ball, and then we quickly race up. Yes, we made a couple of mistakes, but we get over, we break the line. It was good, and I thought we were going to carry this momentum the whole way through. I thought it was pretty, dire sort of times for the Cowboys, but that was my thoughts at the time. I was like, this could be 50 points here.
Yeah, me too. What about you, Ringer? How'd you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate, concur with Britto. Early signs, I thought we're in for an easy night here. Cut him open very easily. Love to see Walshy with his hands on the ball, running at the line early. It's always a good sign, even though we'll definitely get into a few rocks. But it started off really well for Reese, and love to see Shiver back in the try scoring circles. That's for true.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought it was really good that Walsh spun out of that tackle to,
Mm,
create the chance to throw to Shibber. And it was Tommy Dearden too, and that boy normally
Yeah.
sticks like glue. So, yeah, I thought it was
yeah.
really good by Reese. But yeah, so in the 3rd minute, it is 6-0 to the Broncos. Then into the 7th minute, we see a penalty to the Broncos for late contact on Reece Walsh after he kicked the ball by Cowboys number 5, Braden Burns. That boy gets sin-binned because of it. They don't really like the attacking player coming into the kicker's legs sort of area, which is what Braden did. I'll defend the lad a little bit. Like, there was no malice in that. Like, he wasn't trying to kill. He was just going for the ball, just sort of maybe got it, wrong time sort of thing.
Mm.
I don't think it, there was any malice or any sort of ill intent sort of thing to hurt Reese. He didn't get hurt. He sort of stayed down for a little bit, and then he sort of got up and continued on. So, yeah, we'll take it. So Braden Burns in the sin bin in the 7th minute. Then into the 8th minute, we see a knock on by Jordan Ricky. Walsh tries to pass the ball, which is hit by Cowboys number 6, Jake Clifford. Goes to ground, and Jordan then tries to dive on it, but ultimately sort of knocks it on. It's pretty pressure relieving for the Cowboys. If Jordan had hung on to that, then that would have been a set restart for us on the Cowboys meter line. So, Cowboys sort of got away with that one. Then into the 10th minute, we see a try to Katoni Staggs after a lovely break by Josiah Karapani to put the Broncos into attacking territory. Tyson Smoothie passes to Benny Hunt down the short side, who then short passes to Staggs for, Brock second try of the night. Kick from the sideline is converted, 12-0. Lads, talk to me about that one. Ringer?
Mate, one of our men that we identified early, Josiah Karapani, absolutely ripping and tearing. He's exceptionally good at getting in between defenders. Like, this is early in the game, so there's, fatigue shouldn't be a huge issue, and he just gets between defenders, fights like all fuckery, and has like exceptionally good balance, obviously through the hips and the gluteus maximus to keep him upright, because he spits out the other side after all that contact, and then is straight into stride and gets us downfield, and then just smart hands. Like, Katoni is about as good of player in the whole competition at the moment when you've got a retreating defense to give it to, because he'll fucking make it happen. So, love to see it, mate. And early on, the conversions looking good from Reese, spitting them over from out wide, because we thought we might drop a fair bit off since the Little General's been gone, but Reese is doing a pretty bloody good job of it. So give him credit, because he's about to get roasted later on. So
Yes, he will. Britto, how'd you see Katoni's try, mate?
Yeah, good. We've seen it pretty clear. It was we were on that side of the field. It was a good little sort of team play, I guess you could say. Like, definitely showing a few of our tricks that we wanna keep going. Just quick note now, because we've had Jamat go over. Now we've got Tony. Our back line is absolutely on fire at the moment.
Yes.
Going to be a hell of a shootout next week, and we'll get to that game. But yeah, I am excited because these boys are playing well. Another sort of level of respect for Reese when it comes to dealing with the public. The shit that I heard getting thrown at him while he was taking that conversion, like, that just adds another level of complexity to kicking. Like, I'd understand he's probably got it as white noise at this point, being a professional and whatnot, but holy, the public do not hold back. And then they wonder why they have a couple of lapses in the media, and they say some shit. But hats off to you, Reese. Don't worry, mate. If you heard my little heckle back at all, mate, that was thrown it at you. His missus was pretty funny, and he looked like he wanted to punch my face in. So
Yes, good stuff. So, yeah, it is 12-0 to the Broncos after the 10th minute. And, yeah, like at this point, I'm like, this is going to be a good game. This is going to be, 60-0 sort of situation. But unfortunately, this is sort of where it goes to shit for a little bit, isn't it? So let's get through this rough patch, or the veggies, as we'll call them. So yes, into the 12th minute, you see a wayward dummy half pass by Tyson Smoothie, ends with a knock on from Billy Walters. That gives the Cowboys their first attacking opportunity of the night. Their fifth tackle ends with actually a really nice catch by Cowboys number 14, Zach Laybut. Just plucks that out of the air. And then, just a little bit of more chaos ensues. Before it's ruled out, Gemmet Shibasaki knocks on for the Broncos for a Cowboys scrum feed on the Broncos 10-meter line. So, yeah, it was just Zachy, he plucks it out of the air, passes it back, then passes it again. Gemmet sort of intercepts it and then tries to catch it, and I don't know, it's just chaos. So ends up being a Cowboys scrum feed on the Broncos 10-meter line. Then into the 15th minute, we see a try to Cowboys number 2, Sammy Velame. Cowboys spread it to the right, and Cowboys number 14, Zach Laybart, holds the ball just long enough to sort of create the space for Sammy to stroll over for the Cowboys' first points of the night. Cowboys score with a man in the bin too. That's quite a little concerning there, considering they just sort of spread it and created an overlap with a man in the bin. So a little bit how you going there. Kick converted, 12-6. Lads, how did you see that one? Britto, talk to me.
Yeah, it was a little bit concerning that this was their really first opportunity. And you can sort of see we came to score points, but the whole scramble defense that we were hoping would be there sort of wasn't, I guess. Like, it was just a couple of steps too slow here and there, is all it was. So I wasn't concerned, and honestly, it felt like we were fitter anyway. I know that we're only 15 minutes in, but it just felt like we were sort of carrying ourselves a little bit better. I was interested because it was live. I could see different parts of the field than what you can on TV. So I was looking at like body language and how they were interacting off the ball with one another. And there was a couple of blow-ups throughout the game at one another sort of thing, and I'll point them out when we get to them. But other than that, everyone seemed pretty confident. It was pretty funny that Ben Hunt admitted on the broadcast afterwards that they knew going into the halftime sheds that Madge wasn't going to be happy. So I think they'd already had the chat, and they were like, we've dropped the ball here a few times on a few little areas. But yeah, I was not yet panicked.
Yep. What about you, Ringer? How do you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate, obviously disappointing for him to skin us on an edge when we're only, when we've got a one-man advantage. It just looked like everyone should have needed to trust each other on that edge a little bit more. Everyone was sort of hanging back to sort of, it was essentially one-on-one across the park, but our defenders were sort of hanging with each other to, try and help them in defence. That's whatever. It was a good try by them. Like, I was cranky, don't worry, but yeah, like Britto said, I wasn't panicked. I think, because of the scrambling nature of what that sort of couple of plays sort of made. So silly, but we move forward.
Yes, indeed, we shall. So yeah, it is 12-6 after the 15th minute to the Broncos. Then in the 16th minute, Corey Pakes, his HIA gets cleared, so he comes back on for Tyson Smoothie, who goes off. And Braden Burns also returns from his little sin bin stint as well. Then into the 18th minute, drop ball from Dean Mariner gives Cowboys another attacking set in Broncos territory. 18th minute, and the Broncos are 4 errors and a 6 out of 9 completion. So that's 67%. Britto, you got something to add on that one, mate?
Yeah, this Dean Mariner drop ball. There's 2 occasions during the night that I want to know if we can investigate Mr. Nanai on a bit of a what's the penalty that's called, the obstructor, because both times it's Nanai's normally pretty good in the air. Both times he misjudged his jump horrendously. And he was basically already back on the ground and looking back at the ball before the other player even kind of left the ground, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I was a bit confused with this one because I got a pretty good look at it. And I honestly thought they were going to pull it up for an obstructor, but, play on, apparently. So, played with the ref.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so, like the Broncos, the 12-6, 4 errors, and, 67% completion after the 18th minute. So, weren't playing too great, the first 10 minutes was good, obviously, scoring 2 tries, but then, it's just sort of, they weren't doing sort of that great. But anyway, we shall move on. Into the 19th minute, penalty to the Cowboys for an illegal steal on Cowboys number 8, Jordan McLean by Corey Pakes. Then in the 20th minute, dummy half try to Cowboys number 9, Reece Robson. Jordan Ricky jumps off the line too quickly, which gives Robson enough room to muscle his way past Corey Pakes as a, one-on-one. Scores next to the sticks. Kick converted, 12 all. Lads, talk to me about Reece's try. Bring up.
Yeah, mate. It's a rare defensive lapse from Payne Haas and Corey Pakes. Both of the markers, essentially markers when you get tackled on a line like that, both chase the dummy, which is just 101. One moves with the ball, one player has to stay and fill that hole. And Payne takes 3 steps forward and doesn't even look at Robinson before Robson takes the, dummies and then just steps off his right and pretty much strolls over. So, just obviously, I don't know, not awake, not paying really much attention. And probably for good reason, because the Cowboys probably haven't done that all year. So this is something they haven't had a look at before. But he is the New South Wales number 9. Like close to the line, you should be watching him like a bloody hawk. So it was pretty disappointing. And they were disappointed in themselves, no doubt. Like Pakesy just come back on the field, and he made a good tackle to stop McLean. It was essentially a try over the tackle before. And then both of them to chase the dummy. It's pretty disappointing, but anyway, that's how it goes.
Yeah, like words straight out of my mouth. He's the number 9 for the New South Wales Blues. You shouldn't be sleeping on him at all. And it definitely was weird that both markers just went straight. We did a Panthers and a Harry Grant on that occasion there, so kind of deserved to get punished the way that we did. A little tip on this one: the panic button had been smashed as soon as Reece went. As soon as he went over, I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
It started to continue to be lippy in the crowd, but just enough to try and make them not think that I was panicking.
Yeah, so obviously, after the first 10 minutes it's 12-0 to the Broncos, and then after the 20th minute it is now 12 all. So, a little bit of a turnaround, and definitely panic buttons are starting to get struck all over Queensland. But yes, so we'll continue. 22nd minute, Cowboys captain's challenge for a touch on a pass from Josiah Karapani that ends up going out the sideline. So, Cowboys basically try to spread it right. And, Karapani just comes into the tackle. Ball is, just thrown pretty haphazardly out the back and ends up going out the sideline. So, captain's challenge is unsuccessful, as the replay shows Karapani not touching the ball at all. So, good to see that, the Cowboys have lost their captain's challenge. Also in that 22nd minute, the Broncos do their first official interchange. Obviously, the HIA ones don't count. So first official interchange, Kobe Hetherington comes on for Payne Haas, who goes off. Standard, interchange at the 20-minute mark for our boy Payne. Into the 24th minute, forward pass by Reece Walsh on the Cowboys' 10-metre line on the 5th tackle. That was the second forward pass from Walsh in that set, but the first one to get picked up by the refs. I've got sporadic play from both teams at the moment, and I think that's pretty accurate, because it just seemed like there was just no structure sort of thing. There was just silly sort of plays and silly behaviours, and it was just sort of sporadic. Sporadic is a good term for it. Cowboys number 1, Scott Drinkwater, ends up losing the ball on the first tackle, giving the Broncos an attacking opportunity. So, basically, Cowboys get the ball for the forward pass, and then, first tackle Scotty drops the ball. So yeah, it's good to see we get one back, sort of thing. Also in that 24th minute, the Cowboys do their first interchange as well. Into the 26th minute, Gemma Shibasaki is taking into touch into the Cowboys' goal for a 20-meter tap for the Cowboys. So that was pretty good D by the Cowboys to,
Definitely.
was over the line, couldn't get it down, and yeah, they end up driving him out the back, sort of things.
Was Tommy Dearden was involved in that one, so yeah, he was going over.
Fucking love Tommy Dearden, eh? That's got to be
Yeah,
one
I
of
know.
the favorite of the Broncos to get
Come
rid
back.
of that lad.
Come back, Tommy.
It's
Come back.
actually it's a huge IQ play, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
not only hold him up and try and drive him back, to have the attention to detail to hold him up, but then like fuck it, we'll take him in goal. We'll get 7 tackles. It was unfortunate for Shipper because he was just off balance. Like when he got the ball and he bounced out, he just sort of couldn't get low and get set. But yeah, you got credit where credit's due, and it is Tommy did. I'm like, for fuck's sake, he's going to be playing for Queensland for the rest of his days, so we'll glaze him too. I think we can glaze Tommy. I think that's allowed.
Potentially the Aussie number 7 at the end of the year too.
Well, yeah,
Could very well be. He's got to be in that conversation for sure.
Has to be.
definitely.
Rightio. Also in that 26th minute, the Broncos do their second interchange of the night. Our boy Ben Talty, he comes on. Corey Jensen goes off. Then into the 27th minute, drop ball from Cowboys number 12, Jeremiah Nanai. I thought it was Nanai for the longest time, and now the commentators are calling it Nanai. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's, worded them up and it's now Nanai, and it was never Nanai, but I vividly remember calling him Nanai for the longest of times. But anyway, we'll move on. Also in that 27th minute, the Cowboys do their second interchange of the night. Into the 30th minute, chip over the top on the 5th tackle by Reece Walsh ends with a bat dead by the Cowboys for a Cowboys dropout. They do a short dropout, and it ends up being a penalty to the Cowboys for Jaden Hunt picking the ball up in an offside position after Reece Walsh fails to catch the ball. So, look, I wouldn't say that that's a successful short dropout. Like if you need to require the other team to fuck it up, I don't think that's a successful dropout. So my point still stands, and we'll move on directly. 32nd minute, knock on by Reece Walsh after a Cowboys 5th tackle bomb. Reece just couldn't sort of quite hang on to it. Ends up knocking it on. Cowboys scrum feed on the Broncos 10-meter line. Their set ends with a knock on by Cowboys number 12, Jeremiah Nanai. Again, Nanai, whatever. Pressure relieving for the Broncos for sure because, the Cowboys, they were fucking into it at this stage, weren't they? Which is, panic buttons. They're getting slapped for a second, third, fourth, fifth time at this stage. Then also in that 32nd minute, the Broncos do their third interchange. So I think this is probably where your 8 out of 8 has come from, Britto, because not normally they do 3 interchanges in half an hour sort of thing. It's normally only 2 for the first half sort of thing, and then it rolls a bit.
Beautiful conditions up there, hey. Like the town, you couldn't get a better time to play football in North Queensland. It was nice and cool. The grass was a bit long, if you had to notice that on the TV, so that it was a little bit heavy underfoot. So maybe it was just wearing the lads out a little bit more than what they're used to as well.
Could be. So, the Broncos' third interchange in the 32nd minute, Payne Haas comes back on for Paddy Carrigan, who goes off. Then in the 33rd minute, 5th tackle kick from Walsh is too hard and ends up going dead for a 20-meter tap. Then in the 35th minute, we see a try to Cowboys number 6, Jake Clifford. Cowboys number 12, Jeremiah Nanai. I'm just going to call him Jeremiah, I think. Jeremy. Jezza.
Jezebel.
Jezebel. He busts through the line, passes the ball as he sort of trips over, and then, unfortunately, the ball just sort of bounces off Reece Walsh and is scooped up by Clifford, who scores the Cowboys' third try of the night, putting them in front. Kick converted, 18-12 to the Cowboys. Lads, how are you feeling? How did you see that one, Britto?
Yeah, I'm going to be a bit of a Cowboys fan here. I don't believe that should have been a try. The way that Reece came in to sort of grab what was going on in that area, like diffuse the tackle and whatever, with the ball flicking out, I full on, that's a knock on to me. I don't understand how it was allowed to go through to Jake to then score. So anyway, but it is what it is. I just thought it was one of those things. The call went 50-50, didn't go our way. I am getting concerned at this point with our defense. Just the same old. When we're on our line, all you hear is the 6 again bell, just dinging away. And I'm just like, surely we are concerned at this point about how much that bell goes off during the game for us and where it goes off as well. I can handle it out on the 20, 30 even, but once we're set on our line, every time you hear that, you're like, well, they have to score now. And so I don't understand why we put that pressure on ourselves, whether it's being onside, whether it's shit in the ruck or whatever. But yeah, anyway, that's just my take on that one. I'm a little bit concerned at this point.
A little, Jesus, I'm fucked. Like on panic stations at this point for me. I was thinking it's going to be like 80-0, and now here we are losing. I was like, what the fuck's happening here? I'm not impressed. But yeah, Ringer, how did you see it, mate?
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same. I'm starting to think, fucking trust the Cowboy to play the only decent game of the season against us to keep us out of the top 4. Cursing them, I'm sure their fans probably curse them a little bit more when they think, you cunts have been like busted asses all year. Surely you could have pulled a bit of this out during the year and got us close to the finals. But anyway, we won't go there. But I'm sort of with Britto a little bit. I thought there was a little bit of ball touching an opposition player. Anyway, but whatever. Like, they deserved to be where they were because they were breaking us. And and like Britto said, it's almost a given now. If we're defending our line, if there's not a bell ringing and 3 tackles, something's wrong. The stadium bell's not working because they've given one. And, you know, I'm one-eyed and whatever, but you watch a fair bit of rugby league. Only teams that seem to get it are the ones that are us and anyone playing Penrith that just seem to get 6 again out of the fucking game. Like, it's ridiculous. So I don't know whether... Yeah, it's something we definitely have to work on in these next few weeks if we want to actually have a proper tilt, because we can't give quality opposition just repeat sets on our line.
Yeah. No, definitely not. Rightio. So, yeah, it is 18-12 to the Cowboys after the 35th minute. Then into the 37th minute, Cowboys number 11, John Bateman drops the ball, trying to offload 3 defenders on the big fella, giving the Broncos a scrum feed on the Cowboys 30-metre line. If you watch the 9 broadcast, Jonathan Thurston was fucking livid too that he did that. But, you know, here he's a Cowboys supporter, so fuck him. That's obviously a wonderful opportunity for the Broncos. Then in the 38th minute, we see a try to Josiah Karapani after a beautiful cutout pass from Billy Walters. What a fucking ball from Billy.
What a ball.
My Lord, yeah, amazing ball. Good shit, Mr. Walters. Kick from the sideline is converted. It is 18-all after the 38th minute. Lads, how are we feeling now? Ringer, talk to me.
Mate, credit where credit's due. Billy Walters pulls out the bloody Darren Lockyer. Right, left. Incredible. Really happy for Billy, actually. He had one error earlier on, but it wasn't really his fault. But he was doing his job out there again. You know, he's been 9 for the last 4 years, and then now he's been in 6 for 3 or 4 games. And he's, you know, I challenge anyone to say that he's played a bad game in that sort of period in the NRL level. It's a pretty, you know, you've got to give him a lot of credit. And then I didn't think he had this sort of ball in his repertoire, to be honest. I haven't seen him pull one off. And then, skins the defence and just puts Josiah over. Yeah, I was fucking impressed. I was like a proud uncle. Like, oh, I didn't know you could do that, brother. Go, son. Yes. So, no, really happy, mate. Really happy at this stage. We needed it, and it come off. You know, we probably expecting Hunty or Reese to be throwing those sort of balls, and for it to come from Billy, I was very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Britto? How'd you see Josiah's try, mate?
Yeah, it was good. Happy that once we did get down back onto that end of the field, we did come up with points. Like silly mistake from Bateman, and we made him pay. And if he's had a seen the, I don't know when the chat happened, but if it was directly after this, it would have been pretty good that Johnny called out to Billy and told him to stop sucking off his dad or something was what was caught on the microphone. And if Billy just turns around and throws that piss hand of a bloody ball straight to Josiah to go over, that would have been pretty sweet for the lad, I'd imagine. But no, it was good that we got down there, got points, and leveled it up. Like at the 38th minute, I was like, okay, that's good. We're going to the sheds. We have been playing better in the second half. So hopefully Madge goes in there, tells them what they need to hear, and then we can come out and play the way that we want to play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, like what the Britto just said, it is 38th minute, 18 all. So, yeah, fuck all time left in the half. I think everybody was expecting it to go, half time into the sheds all locked up, but not at all, because in the 40th minute, last play of the half ends with a long pass from Reece Walsh to Dean Mariner, who beats two defenders. And yeah, great effort by Dean Mariner there. He races down the sideline, passes back to Reece Walsh, who beats Tommy Dearden to score the Broncos' fourth try of the night, putting the Broncos in front at the break. Lovely pass and then support by Reece. Like he basically just threw that Hail Mary long pass out to Dean. Knew Dean had obviously wheels on him and a bit of space to get the job done. Fell over in the process of that, passing that long ball, then just gets up and just, on the burners for a support player who obviously ends up getting the ball and then scoring the try. So, yeah, you give credit to Reece on that one. Kick not converted, 22-18. Ads, how did we see that one, Britto? I'll start with you, mate.
Yeah, I got front row seats for this one, and I was so glad that it happened because I got to see Dean live, sort of with that balance and the speed and the twinkle toes. Like, I don't know how much of his foot actually touches the ground, but it can't be a lot. It's good to see the way that he moves, the balance that he had. I know we were talking about Josiah before, but to come out of the contact, to skip around on the outside of the defender, come out of contact and still be burning, was awesome to watch. Especially, and then Reece lighting it up on the inside. He had Katoni there on his hip as well, so he could have gone to either one. But glad that it was Reece, mainly because of the chat that was going on in the bay around me, what they've been given to Reece all game. It was good to see him get over. So, in the space of 5 minutes, we've gone from losing, and panic stations to going in the sheds up. So it was good. It's good. Much better on the nerves.
Yeah. Ringer, how'd you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate, just a great show of the firepower that we have if we need it. It was actually good work leading up to this. That I think we run two good wedge plays on the left that sort of started sucking into the defenders, and then come from dummy half to Hunt, and then he just flings it to Reece, who then doesn't even think. Does very well to get over the outside in defence that was coming at him. And yeah, like Langer said, hits the deck, gets up and sprints back to be in contention to catch that inside pass, which he selfishly got in front of Katoni for. But anyway, he was doing well. He deserved it. But yeah, once again, Mariner, mate, like Britto said, twinkle toes along the sideline at that speed. Fucking incredible. Great way to get into half-time, I can tell you.
Yeah, I definitely think it calmed the nerves of a lot of Thoroughbreds and Broncos supporters there, because I was worried. Like even going into the sheds at halftime, 18 all, I was like, this is not how I was expecting this night to go, sort of thing. But yes, it is halftime. It is 22-18 to the Broncos. A couple of little halftime sort of notes here. Queensland Derby on full display with exciting play from both the Broncos and the Cowboys. But I think you might have lucked out there by going to that game, like being able to be there live and enjoy it. Obviously, getting the chat, like it's always part of the experience, getting the chat thrown at you and then throwing a little bit back. That's what it's all about, the banter in the stands. But yeah, just exciting play. Like it's always good as a Queenslander that the Derby always turns it on. Like it's never just. Obviously, as a Broncos supporter, you want it to just be an absolute blowout, but it's also good on the other hand that it never sort of is. So, that's good. If you're a Queensland supporter, which you are, obviously, it's always good to see. Broncos started well with 2 tries in the first 10 minutes. Both teams are sporadic at times. I said it before for the Broncos, but like even the Cowboys, they weren't exactly all rhythm. And it was a little bit of sporadic sort of behaviour from both teams for like a fair bit of that half, to be honest. Also noticed that players seem to be slipping over a lot as well, and like that wasn't just for the first half; that was basically for the whole game. There was a lot of sort of open space, I guess, for both teams and players from both teams to make, that extra sort of 4 or 5 meters before getting tackled again, because their first, inline defender slipped over and they just sort of ran around them, sort of thing. So I don't know if that was just because of the, the fluffy sort of turf that you said before, Britto, a bit sort of longer ground, who knows. But yeah, definitely something I thought or noticed anyway. Bomb defusal from the Broncos, not the best, but Jake Clifford's got a fucking boot on him,
Yeah.
mate. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I saw Reese, he, was putting a little bit of extra effort. Like, he's obviously got a big boot on him. We all know that. We've all seen that. But he was putting a little bit of extra effort into the bombs that he was trying to put up, and Jake was beating him, mate. And, he didn't look like he was putting as much sort of oomph behind him. So, yeah, I think, well, for me, that's definitely sort of slept on from me, like old Clifford, because you think, oh, well, who's going to put up a high bomb in the NRL? Matt Burton, first one to go straight to you, and then Reese isn't too far behind. But yeah, old fucking Jakey boy, you can throw him on the boot when he needs to. But no, definitely like that first half, definitely building up for an electric second half, I thought. Obviously a little bit worried with the scoreline. Yes, Broncos are in front, but only just sort of thing. But no, it was definitely building up for what I thought was going to be an exciting second half. But lads, how did you see the first half? I'll start with you, Ringer. How did you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate, it was a shootout, wasn't it? Classic shootout. That no one really looked like they turned up to put their shoulders under too much pressure. Defence wasn't top of the priorities, but in saying that, you're looking at two very electric teams that love to use the ball. The big loser was probably the rest of us, because whoever the groundsman was that left fucking 8 inches of fucking grass on the pitch. I don't know what the reasoning was to that. Maybe to slow us down, I suppose, coming worried about how quick we were. But, it that was a factor you could see, and that, slowed things down a little bit. But, yeah, just a shootout. Really wanted the Bronx to sort of centre themselves and settle down a bit in the second half, which they didn't, as we'll get to. But, there's some good performances. I think what really was good for us is Kobe, when he come on, like arrested their momentum, because they were sort of dominating that period, and then Kobe come on and sort of just flattened a few kids in the middle, and sort of shut the front door, and then that's what arrested our momentum back for us to get the Walters try and then Reese right at the death. So yeah, good signs. I'm glad we got those two right at the death, but I mean, it's still a shootout, and it doesn't give you too much confidence going into a finals campaign. But Jesus, it's an entertaining game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love that it's a Walters try now. Like, fuck Josiah, it's all Billy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, Josiah
But
scores heaps.
yeah, exactly right. No,
Yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't have happened without Billy's pass. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to call it Billy's try. But Britto, how did you see the first half, mate? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely not the way that I thought it was going to go. I was hoping for, we've got Melbourne next week. The Cows just came off of a great comeback win off the Tigers. So, we know that they can do this. Don't give Drinkwater any space. We've got the number 7 for Queensland coming up against him, sort of thing. Yes, we've got Ben Hunt on the opposite there. So I thought it'd be a great little matchup, master versus apprentice, changing into master sort of thing. That sort of get up, but I actually thought, I thought we'd have them on the outside, especially on the edges. I didn't expect Semi to get over like that, like how he did. I didn't expect to get cut up that way either. Ringer is right. When Kobe came on, it was you could definitely visibly see the difference that he made in the centre. His linking up with, and Tolte as well. Tolte did really well, I thought. But yeah, the linking up with Kobe, Ricky, Tolte, all of them in the middle with their offloads and everything, it was pretty good to watch. But I obviously missed, on the broadcast, they would have shown Madge given an absolute spray at halftime. I missed that, obviously, being at the game. But if I had known that, and then the way we started the second half, would have been more concerned than what I was. But at the end of this game, at the end of the first half, Cowboys had a fitness issue. So I don't know whether the whole long grass thing played into the way that they thought it would, whether it affected them a little bit more as well, because they were struggling to get back on side off them fifth tackle kicks. We seemed to be just fitter, stronger than what they were in our energy and everything. A lot of chat. Reece working at the back there that you can see with his direction, everything. You see why he's so important in defence as well as attack. So yeah, it was good. I wasn't going into the Sheds in the lead was good. I wasn't as panicked as what I probably would have been if we were losing. But yeah, the signs were pretty good from where I was.
Yes, good stuff. Rightio, let's get into the second half. So, second half, Cowboys kick off. Into the 42nd minute, we see a penalty to the Cowboys for pressure on the neck by Corey Pakes on Cowboys number 14, Zach Labart. Yeah, just another attacking opportunity for the Cowboys, straight into the second half. That opportunity ends with Jake Clifford knocking the ball on the second tackle, so lucky us. Then in the 47th minute, second try of the night for the Cowboys number 2, Semi Valame, after an intercept from a Reece Walsh pass. I think that pass from Walsh was never on, personally. Semi was up there in the line. He didn't even have to dive or juggle or anything to intercept that ball. He just stuck his hand out and off he sort of went. So, yeah, the idea was there to put Karapani, down the side for sure. But, yeah, just where Semi was, I just don't think that pass was ever sort of on. But anyway, kick converted, 24-22 to the Cowboys. Lads, how did we see that one? Ringer, how did you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate, disappointing, very disappointing. Straight up out of the gates, takes away all the benefit we had of those 2 late tries in the first half. Like you said, the play was right because the winger was unmarked. However, I think Reece was so hell-bent on making sure he disguised what he was going to do, by looking straight ahead and then throwing long, that he forgot to actually look for the winger and then, got caught out. So, yeah, there's that rocks moment that we get. Die with the ball sort of shit that we ask these Broncos to do pretty much every week. Sometimes it's not on. But anyway, he scored us the try. He set up the try and scored it just before halftime, and then he gives you this one straight away after. So you're like yin and yang.
Yep. Britto, you would have had pretty good view from it where you were
Yeah.
sitting, mate. How'd you thought?
Fortunately, yeah, I did. But I will back him here a little bit, which is with a surprising take. I think we don't get the Billy Walters try in the 57th minute without this play, because if you go back and have a look at it, all Sammy had on his mind at that point was another intercept. That's it. And he fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and Gamat got the line break and then put Billy away. But yeah, I think it was definitely a set play, wrong trigger, if that makes sense. In that sort of, if had looked up at it, but maybe if he didn't pull that off, then maybe Sammy would have been back on his heels a little bit in the next in that other play. So rocks and diamonds sort of thing. But it was very disappointing that we are 7 minutes in after the half that we had, the spray that Madge would have given, and we do something like that. At the same time, it's a try from an intercept. You can pull them in. You can put that down to luck. There was nothing that you did wrong other than pull the wrong rein, sort of thing. So yeah, shit way if you look at it one way, but it's okay if you look at it the other in hindsight.
Yeah. Copy that. So yeah, 47th minute, it is 24-22 to the Cowboys. In the 48th minute, the Broncos do their fourth interchange. Paddy Carrigan comes back on for Ben Talty, who goes off. Then in the 49th minute, Cowboys number 12, old Jezebel, he drops the ball coming out of the Cowboys end, giving the Broncos a fantastic opportunity. And yeah, definitely, because in the 50th minute, second try of the night for Gemmet Shibasaki. Once again, lovely cutout pass from Reece Walsh. So good in a way, I guess, like to just have that cutout pass that obviously got intercepted 3 minutes prior, and he's still willing to throw another cutout pass, just like water off a duck's back sort of thing. Let's continue with the job at hand. And obviously this one's paid off. So yeah, beautiful. But yeah, that cutout pass from Walsh straight to Shibasaki puts him in a hole, score the Broncos' 5th try of the night. Kick hits the uprights. The boy can find an upright in the last couple of weeks. Fuck me. Not converted, 26-24 to the Broncos. Lads, thoughts on Gammett's second try, Britto? Talk to me, mate.
Yeah, I wish the Romy in the NRLW could find the post as much as Walsh is, because she's either dead down the centre or a little bit to the side. But yeah, it's good to know that his aim is on. It's in the right spot. So
in the ballpark.
And
yeah.
And again, like the confidence, like that just comes down to confidence again. Like you hit a couple of uprights, you might start second guessing, but he keeps slotting away, putting them giving them a chance anyway. Same with the passes. Like, yeah, you're right. You can go into your shell. You can go, well, I won't force the pass here, but not Reece. Reece will look for diamonds no matter where he is on the field. Which obviously, you end up with a bit of coal here and there, but yeah, it was good for Jamat again. Would have been pretty bittersweet with him being back. He was there at the Cowboys last year, I think it was. Couldn't crack the top side, and here he is, a full-fledged member of the Broncos run-on side, scoring tries against them. So good on him. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Ringer, how do you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate. Michael Ennis actually said it in the commentary. He's like, well, that's what you got to love about Reece Walsh. He throws an intercept and then literally gets the next chance he has at throwing that ball, he does it again, and it hits
Yeah.
that was the in goal camera where it looks from the front. It hit Shiba in if they were to draw a point on the body of where the ball should hit you, it hit him right fucking there. Like it was,
nice.
We're used to this now. We're just we're just immune to, you look at that pass and you go, probably one of the better passes from an NRL player this year. And you're still just immune, it's just fucking, you've seen it so much, you're just numb to it all. Because you're like, okay, so what's next? Is he going to fucking kick it dead? Is he going to bloody knock it on 3 times?
Yeah.
Or is he going to throw 6 more passes like that and we win by 40? I don't know. No one knows. Jump on the train, though, because it's fucking awesome.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah. Yes, exactly right. So, yes, Thoroughbreds, after the 50th minute, it is 26-24 to the Broncos. Then in the 53rd minute, the Cowboys do their 3rd interchange. And in the 54th minute, the Broncos do their 5th interchange. So, yeah, there's that 8 out of 8, I think, again there, Britto. So, yeah, for the 5th interchange for the Broncos, Tyson Smoothie comes on for Corey Pakes, who goes off. Then in the 55th minute, Gamma Shibasaki drops the ball after Reece Walsh passes him the ball after taking a bomb. I feel like Reece should have just taken that tackle. I don't really think that Gamma probably should have needed to get that ball. Reece could have probably just taken the tackle and moved on, sort of thing. But anyway, Cowboys with another attacking opportunity to take the lead. Opportunity ends with a sloppy 5th tackle play from the Cowboys, and Walsh ends up with the ball. So sort of, lucky, I guess, if you want to call it that. And then in the 56th minute, we see the Cowboys do their 4th and 5th interchange. And the 57th minute, we see the Broncos do their 6th interchange with Brendan Piakura coming on for Jaden Hunt, who goes off. Good to see Piakura back on the field after, a little bit of a
50th
unknown
game.
Hiatus. Yes. Good to see. Obviously, there was some sort of concussion symptom issues there, but definitely took longer to return than what I was thinking anyway, and I think what most people were sort of expecting. So, good to see Brendan back. Then in the 57th minute, Broncos captain's challenge for a strip on Katoni Staggs. Staggs just gets up immediately and challenges it. Like, he doesn't even look for the captain. He's just looking at the ref going, yep, we'll captain that one. Yep, thanks, mate. I'll make that decision. So, yeah, they obviously challenge it. Challenge is unsuccessful from the big fella. Yeah, replay basically shows Katoni just losing the ball into the Cowboys defenders. Yeah, bit wild. Yeah, Katoni, he was adamant too. Like, he just got up, didn't look for anybody else, just spotted the ref and said, "Yep, we'll take that challenge. Thanks, Chief." But yeah, it obviously didn't pay off for him, unfortunately. But yeah, so both teams have lost their captain's challenge, so no more challenges for the rest of the game. Then in the 58th minute, we see a try to Billy Walters after a lovely break from Gemma Shibasaki, after a beautiful dummy and then pass from Reese, putting Shibba into space. Shibba pass potentially forward, depends who you ask. Look, I'll happily call it flat and just move on for sure. So yeah, kick converted, 32-24. Lads, how did we see Billy's try? Britto, I'll start with you, mate.
I'm going to go out. I don't know. I might be the odd one out here. I think it was back out of the hands. Mate, hey, I'll stand on. I'll be on that hill. That's fine by me. That's all right. But like I said before, I don't think this try happens without the semi intercept. Reese sort of pulls the right rein this time, holds it up beautifully. Sammy only has eyes for that intercept, thinking it's going to go, and there's just a massive gap for Shibasaki to get through. Glad that he had support, miles of support either side. So he had the winger pushing up on the outside. He had Billy, and I think he might have even had Ricky a step further in, and Walsh, obviously, whatnot. But yeah, no, it was good. Good little. It was. How do I want to explain it? I started feeling more confident we were going to end up with the win, whether it was going to be by 2 points or what. Just the way that the Cowboys were playing at this point in the game, we did seem. I know we'd done a couple of extra interchanges, and I think it was needed, but we did seem a little bit fitter. We had the right fresh legs on at the right time, and yeah, it was just at this point it looked like they could do this nearly every set. From what their body language was. Interesting enough as well with the chat before where Shibba lost that ball. I think he might have been with you. I think he had a few stern words with Walsh about dying with the ball. Walsh had a few stern words about how about you just catch it. And then they shook heads and off they went and kept going and then linked up here to make a try. So I guess buried the hatchet pretty quick.
Yeah. Ringer, how'd you see it, mate?
Yeah, mate, once again, Reese, just so dangerous, isn't he? He's so quick, so strong for his size. He just gets through enough. And like Britto said, there was an acre of space there. No one was anywhere near Shibba. And it was a great pass from Walshy. Gammett's was only about 8 metres forward, but we'll live with it because, we got to take them because we'll get
8
called.
meters? Holy shit.
I've told you 1 million times not to over-exaggerate. But yeah, no, I don't know. We need some training in support play and wingers to be like behind the dude with the fucking ball. So at least we can give the optical illusion that the ball goes backwards because fuck our support play all night. They're like running side by side and you're like, God, you're making this hard and you're making it easy for a ref to just go. Anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously we're not gonna work on that in round 26, but great to see. The whole play leading up is good because we weren't. It's still trying to go through a team, even though Reese it was an offload and we found a gap. It wasn't passing before the line, hoping for some miracle fucking play. It was running hard through the line, and then the opportunity creates itself. So yeah, I enjoyed that part a lot.
Yeah. I think it was good the support play that Shibba did have as well. Like, he could have passed left or right as well. So yeah, I thought just that. Very good to see from the lads. But yeah, so yeah, in the 58th minute, it is 32-24 to the Broncos. Good to see us come out with an 8-point sort of lead at this stage. A little bit of size of relief, I guess, go through the Thoroughbreds camp. Then into the 64th minute, knock on by Katoni Staggs after some, pretty exciting build-up play from Payne Haas. Well, I thought anyway. So Haas has the ball for like 10 seconds, it seems, just sort of running around, brushing people off.
Yeah.
And then he ends up passing to Walsh, who passes to Katoni. I thought when I first watched it, I had to watch that one back, but when I first watched it, I thought Katoni wasn't ready for the ball and just Walsh did basically what he did to Shibba and did it to Katoni sort of thing. But when I watched it back, Katoni literally claps his hands like, give me the ball. And then, the big fella just couldn't hang on to it, unfortunately. So, it gives the Cowboys another opportunity. Also in that 64th minute, the Cowboys do their 6th interchange of the night. Then to the 65th minute, penalty to the Cowboys for Brendan Piakura taking too long in the tackle on Cowboys number 11, John Bateman. I don't think it's a Broncos game without Piakura coming up on the penalty list there. But good to see. Good to see he's holding true to form. Also in that 65th minute, the Broncos do their 7th interchange of the night. Corey Jensen comes on for Kobe Hetherington, who goes off. Then in the 66th minute, we see a penalty to the Broncos for Cowboys number 7, Tom Dearden, just hanging on to Shibber a bit too long. Referee deems Brendan Piakura doesn't play the ball properly on the second after, that set that we get, giving the Cowboys another chopper to try. I thought Brendan was probably a bit hard done by there to be,
If anyone wants to go back and have a look at any of Zach Labutt's play the balls, you'll see that there was a reason why Piakura was a little bit complex about why he got pinged.
100%. Yeah, I thought he was, a bit hard done by for sure.
Especially even in the commentary, they said it was hard done by because he done the ball perfectly and then fell over. It's not as if he done a shit one falling over and it was like he literally was about the only one all night to actually stand up and put his foot on the ball. And he still gets pinged. So anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, we shall. Into the 68th minute, what was thought to be a try to Cowboys number 12, old Jezebel. After a fourth tackle grubber behind the Broncos line from Jake Clifford. The replay shows him knocking the ball on into Katoni Staggs, giving the Broncos a scrum feed on their 10-metre line. I was upset when that I went in because obviously it got awarded straight up and then they had to wait for the replay to come and do it. And I wasn't happy. I thought, it's just like, man, that's what the Cowboys have done. That's what Jezebel, that's what he's known for, that grubber behind the line, and he races onto it and scores. And just sort of a bit unfortunate for the Cowboys, obviously ultimately unfortunate for them, but sucks to be them. So we'll move on. 69th minute, failed intercept by the Cowboys number 14. Zach Labutt gives the Broncos a scrum feed on the Cowboys 40-metre line. Then, boys, 70th minute, Payne motherfucking Haas. Like, my God, we will glaze that boy every single game, every single opportunity that we get, and I certainly will, because the man is a fucking freak, eh? Like, just the shit that he can do is just ridiculous. He just basically steamrolls over like 4 Cowboys defenders, just like they were nothing. Like he was a fully grown man playing under sixes in the park sort of thing. He's just, it's just ridiculous. He scores under the sticks. Kick converted, 38-24. Lads, talk to me about Payne's try. Britto, I'll start with you, mate.
Yeah, it was good. It was a little bit far away from where we were sitting, obviously, but the energy that he had the ball, like when he got it, and he got it on like the, 15th meter or whatever, and just I'm heading for the line. Try and stop me, couple of speed bumps on the way. But yeah, it was great to see a little bit of individual brilliance there. He's definitely back, showing a bit of, that form that we knew at the beginning of the season. The back mustn't be troubling him so much at this point. So whatever they've done with it, I guess they did it right. I know that a lot of us were calling for him to have an extended rest. But then Madge came out and said, no, what he's got, he needs to be moving it, needs to be playing through it. So they must have got it right. I know he had 2 weeks off there with the flu or an infection or whatever, but it wasn't the back, if you believe what the stories are. But good to see him back in fine form. He comes up a little bit later in my stats. And I had somebody else, I thought somebody else was doing better until I looked over and seen what he did. So Good stuff from Payne. Good little individual bit. I don't think we've never seen someone like Payne in the league, that's for sure. And I don't. Oh, fuck, if we start getting these guys more. I remember when big wingers came out, like Wendell Sailor was meant to be a unicorn when it comes to big wingers, but now it seems like every other winger's big and huge and burly and whatnot. And God, I hope we don't bloody. I'll tell you this right now, my bloodline will never play a game of NRL if people like Payne start popping up all over the spot, because there is no place for my lineage in this game anymore.
Ringer, how did you see Payne's efforts, mate?
He's superhuman, isn't it? From the minute he got that ball, I don't know about you, but I was like, he's going over here. Like, he's not letting anyone fucking stop him. He's just a freak. And the first bloke he just dismissed like he wasn't even there was John Bateman. Like, it's not as if he was running at a half and sort of, yeah.
And Cotter was the one that fell off around the legs.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not as if they're like running at bunnies. He's probably run at the two better defenders in the fucking on the field and just went, nah, bruh, I'm going over here. And but you love to see it, like you said. What you really hope that you can get to a prelim or to a GF and you want to get him a shield, don't you, before he leaves and then starts doing this back to you from like the Bears when they give him $3 million a year or something stupid like that, because he's worth that much, isn't he? Like they talk about you can build a club around halves. Fuck, you can build a pretty good half around the back of Payne Haas's go forward, couldn't you? So, we just so glad he's with us at least until the end of next year. So that's good.
Yep. No, we glaze the lad nearly every episode, but I think he's like unequivocally the best prop ever. I think, you got your Glenn Lazarus, you got your Petro, fridge in a freezer, you got your Sammy Burgess at a stretch, but I mean, the man is a freak, he can just do things that others can't. And I don't think there's another a feared prop more than Payne Haas in this NRL at the moment. Like, he is just an absolute mountain of a man. And I say it every episode, but I'm just so glad that he dons the Broncos colours and not some other team. But if he comes off contract and the Broncos do what they have done in the past and let absolute guns go for whatever fucking reason they come up with, then the man will command a massive, massive salary, because he's worth every cent. Look what he can do. So, good on you, Payne. Excellent work, mate. But yes, let's continue, Thoroughbreds. It is in the 70th minute. It is 38-24 to the Broncos. Then into the 72nd minute, penalty to the Cowboys for a high shot on number 11, John Bateman, by Katoni Staggs. That penalty basically keeps the Cowboys in the fight. Their set ends with Cowboys number 3, Jackson Purdue, tackled on the 5th by Katoni Staggs, none other. Then in the 74th minute, the Broncos do their final interchange, their 8th interchange of the night. Kobe Hetherington comes on for our boy Payne Haas, who comes off for a much-deserved break. Interesting, actually. I didn't realise that it was Payne that went off in the 74th. Because, obviously, I'm looking for a Broncos 13 plus. And, 70th minute, we've got 10 minutes to go. It's 38-24. There's your 14. So I'm like, okay, we just got to play this one out and we'll be sweet. And, so obviously Payne goes off. Not saying that Kobe Hetherington can't tackle, because the man's a fucking gun at a tackle. We already know that. But, interesting that, Payne goes off for what happens the next minute. But, so in the 75th minute, Reece takes the ball out after catching a bomb on the sideline, giving the Broncos a fresh set on the Broncos' 10-metre line. Look, there's not much Reece could have done there. It was a great bomb, another massive one by Jake. Reece catches the ball on the fly, catches it with about a metre to go before he's into touch, and he can't pull the brakes on that quickly. So he sort of just catches the ball and runs off to the side. So I'm happy to forgive Reece for that one, if you boys are as well. Then in the 75th minute, my heart breaks, because we see a try in the corner for Cowboys number 5, Brandon Burns, after spinning out of a Dean Mariner tackle. Kick from the sideline is converted, 38-30 to the Broncos still. Lads, how did you see that one? Ringer, I'll start with you, mate.
Yeah, unfortunate at the death coming back, but got to say, it was a fucking good effort from Braden Burns, wasn't it? To do that spin, like that's old dog for the hard road sort of winger stuff, that is. To get that ball down, just use his sort of body position to get into the position he did. Disappointing from Dean, I thought a little bit that he didn't get a bit better shot on him to try and stop it, but, the good work was done inside. So, I don't know. You want to be cranky, but you're like, fuck, it was a good try at the end of the day. You see a hell of a lot of those not get scored. So, and, Braden Burns, he's pretty underrated, I think. Probably not
Yeah.
at the Cowboys this year, but be an argument that he's done a hell of a bloody good job there since they haven't had Murray Taulagi. So, good on him. Hate to see it, but good on him.
Yep. Britto, how'd you see it, mate?
Yeah, Braden, he's on a bit of a heater at the moment. He had a good game up against the Tigers as well. And I know he had a good game the weekend before. A bit of a slippery customer there. Dean probably should have done, maybe he was a step out of position as well. Just didn't get set where he wanted to. But at the end of the day, I was pretty okay. 75th minute, they still needed more than a converted try to sort of get there to win. I had zero faith that they could do it. I know that Scotty Drink didn't need what he scored. I think it was 12 minutes. He turned the game against the Tigers, and they needed far more points than that. But yeah, the way that they were all playing, I had zero faith that the Cows were going to get the job done over us. Definitely had more faith in our lads that they could defend our way through, or even score another point, another try if they really wanted to. So, but yeah, pretty happy at this point. I was getting a bit lippy again.
Yeah, you would have been happy because of the situation you're in. I was the opposite. I was upset because there goes my 13 plus potentially. So yeah, for the next 5 minutes, I am just hunting another try from the lads to get me back into the 13 plus territory. But yeah, so after the 75th minute, it is 38-30 to the Broncos. Then in the 77th minute, we see a failed intercept for Katoni Staggs, ends in a Broncos scrum feed on the Cowboys' 20-metre line. Oh, man, I was just upset at that one because if he was just one step quicker, he would have got that ball and he would have been gone. There was no one there. He would have done the Staggs fend if anybody even came near him, and he would have been over for sure. There would have been the 13 plus, but not to be, unfortunately. Then in the 79th minute, for just like another dagger into old Langers' chest here, Jordan Ricky is tackled over the Cowboys line on the fourth tackle. I thought he was in for sure. I did the old, early crow, did the old early celebration because I was like, he's in here for sure. And then they fucking wrap him up and tackle him. And mate, yeah, just roller coaster of emotions for me in about 4 seconds there. But look, it was great D from the Cowboys, to stop Ricky from scoring that try and ruining my 13 plus, because then I'm like, oh fuck, like we got one more chance here, but 1 minute to go and I'm still hunting another try. But yes, also in the 79th minute, Cowboys number 1, Scott Drinkwater loses the ball trying to pass in contact, giving the Broncos the last bout of possession of the game. There's like 10 seconds left, sort of thing, like there probably wasn't enough time for them to sort of do too much with it. Everybody was gassed, everybody had enough sort of thing. And Broncos just proceed to run out the clock for a full-time score, ladies and gentlemen. Broncos 38, Cowboys 30. Broncos top 4, baby. You love to see it.
Yeah, boy.
Finally, we're happy with there. Hopefully we can continue that trend for the rest of the normal season this week, I guess. Couple of sort of full-time sort of notes here. Haas doing Haas things as per usual. We've just glazed the lad. I'll happily glaze the lad again. No dramas there. Dags aggressive once again. We can probably. I might as well just keep that in there. Just cement those two things in my full-time notes every week. Walsh, unfortunately, not able to drop that term, the old rocks and diamonds, because, that's exactly how he played. Unfortunately, 1 try, 2 try
Yes.
assists, but 5 errors for the big fella again, which obviously we'll get into the stats in a jiffy. But, like, I don't, obviously, he doesn't like that term, rocks and diamonds, and it is thrown everywhere by everyone. So you'd think that he would be pretty keen to drop that sort of term or, nickname, whatever you want to call it. But couldn't do it this game, that's for sure, because that's a perfect definition of his game. So, got another week to sort that out before finals. Cowboys did well staying in the fight, putting 30 on the Broncos. Like that's higher than what the average has been for, points conceded for the Broncos this whole season. So, like some of that was obviously, Broncos sort of errors. But good to see the Cowboys staying in the fight, like what you said, Ringer, last game of the season, and they decide to sort of turn it on a little bit for us. But like in a way, it was the perfect derby. Obviously I was going for the 13
Yeah.
plus, and that didn't happen, so I was a little bit salty there. But you want an exciting derby, and they always are. And I think this one definitely lived up to the name, the expectation, and all of that. And I think there's probably a few people that are pretty jealous of you, Britto, being able to experience it live as it is. A couple more sort of notes. Broncos seem to be out of rhythm multiple times, and I think that's definitely true. A lot of sporadic play with a lot of errors from both teams. Is it 16 or 17 from the Broncos?
17 final count, yeah.
Too many.
Too many.
Cowboys, they felt like they did about 300 offloads too, so maybe that's something that the lads can address during the week, sort of wrapping the ball up in the tackle. How many offloads was there, Britto? Obviously, it wasn't 300,
I'll
but I
have a
think
quick
that was
look.
still, in the teens or what? It would have been 17 or something.
Yeah,
you reckon?
16 offloads to the Cows, 12 to us, yeah.
There you go. Well, there you go. So there was nearly, well, there you go. But I just sort of felt like every time we sort of tackled the Cowboys player, they got the ball free and, offloaded it for somebody else. But so I think, the Broncos would definitely have to play a lot better against the Storm, this coming week if they, want to win and they want to sort of cement themselves into the top 4, because it's obviously not guaranteed that they will get the top 4 yet. We sort of need, if we lose against the Storm, then there's a couple of, other teams that need to lose as well for us to stay in the top 4, which we'll probably get to in a bit. But like if they play like that against the Storm, they're going to get fucking pumped, I reckon, because, Bellamy's said, in previous that he won't be resting players before the finals. He doesn't like to do that. It's, ruins momentum and all that, and, crew continuity sort of situations. So you best believe that he'll be fielding the strongest possible team that he can. So, I feel like if they play that sort of footy against the Storm this week, then, they're going to get, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a fun little game review next week. But hey, we will still hope. So bring on the Storm next week or this week because Thursday night. But lads, what were your thoughts on the entirety of the game, Britto? I'll start with you, mate. How'd you see it?
Yeah, good. I seen it live, so there was definitely some points that I missed. Tried to go back and watch it again today, but I was too busy watching the women score an absolute mozzo over the Bulldogs. But it did concern me. It seemed like we'd been dragged down to the Cowboys level, and I do think that we get a little bit like this. Depending on what we are up against, will depend on how we turn up in the right frame of mind. So, fortunately, if that's true, we'll turn up against Melbourne and it'll be okay. But it did, like the Cowboys. It just seemed like we played Cowboys footy, where that was just a shootout. We ended up having more weapons. We ended up pulling off a couple of more passes that they didn't and whatnot, so we got away with it. And defense was optional, sort of thing. So, did you guys see any massive hits on the? Like there was no big sort of thumping hits, no sit down. Even Jason Taumalolo, like when he got a run up, he was stopped, but it wasn't like he punched anyone off him or whatever. It was just a standard hit up. So the only one that we probably seen was Payne's try, where he skittled a couple of blokes and went over, sort of thing. So it was I don't want to read too much into going up against the Storm. I think we'll show up with that mindset. I think Madge has got them right where he kind of needs them to get in the prepper. It is a short turnaround, not as short as it could be, but we go straight in Thursday night. Thankfully, it's at home, up against the Storm, who, to be fair, I wasn't convinced when we played them, when we lost our halves. I feel like if our halves stayed on the field, we beat them then. Yes, they went to Golden Point against the Panthers, but the number that they got done over the weekend, I feel like, we do that throw around footy, that fuck it footy, if you want to call it that, then we might have a chance. So anyway, that's how I thought it was a great little derby. I was glad that it was sort of close and we could get some banter going, and we seen sort of everyone's weapons come out of the duffel bag as such, and the cows get to fly over to Bali for a much needed rest and recoup, and we slog on into the top four, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully indeed. Ringer, how do you see the game, mate?
Yeah, mate, I think the first thing off the bat is that from now on, Thoroughbreds, we are not going to sleep on the Derby Broncos 1-12, because I think in this game it was paying like $3.80. Like, it's staring you directly in the face, and we all fucking miss it every single time because it's inevitable. Like, and the inevitability of a good game in a Derby is just right there. And the Cowboys turned it on. I know it's their last game of the season, which must be shit. Well, it'd be good if you're not in the finals, I suppose. But I mean, you're watching everyone else play footy this week. It just seems like a anticlimax, I suppose. But
Yeah.
I completely agree with Britto. I actually had written down pretty much word for word what he said, so I've been poaching your notes, mate. Hopefully you don't find the camera in your house, but I've got written here where we seem to determine how we play our game on who the fuck we're playing. Like, for example, like we played the Bulldogs twice this year and pumped them. And like, we were so intense. We were disciplined. We done all the fundamentals. We, pretty much played Bulldog football against the Bulldogs, but we had more firepower. And then we go and play someone like fucking St. George and get beaten by 4 because we get drugged down into the poo and we don't like it. And I think this game mirrored that exactly. We shot up, each team fired shots all game, and we were just like, nah, you score 2 tries, we'll score 3. Like, if this game ends up being 48-40, then so be it. And, the thing is, with that is that with 17 errors and 9 penalties against us, we lose every game from here on in if we play like that. So hopefully we get a bit of kick in the ass and a bit of a wake-up call through, Madge obviously give him a fucking bath at halftime, and no doubt I don't think he would have been overly happy at full-time with how it worked out. So, I'm sure, but that's what I mean. I'm confident that we're like lyrebirds. We mimic what we see in front of us. So we're going to come up against the Storm, right, where we, like Britto said, I think we could have won that game if we didn't have the injury toll against us. I think we lift and play better football because we're playing the Storm. So hopefully we have that mentality, and we, all I want to see from them is lock up the ball a bit and play, because there's nothing worse than coming up against a fucking Melbourne Storm that get pumped the week before. So, that seems to happen to us a bit. So we're not going to get any complacency or shit talk. But yeah, mate, happy we'll get through the team and the positions and who we're going to glaze. But yeah, the ball handling and discipline is, we mirrored who we're playing, but we need to fucking tighten that shit up if we want to be a real threat. But we're in the top 4. Like, how many games have we dropped during the middle of this season where we could have been sitting here very comfortably? And yeah, we're not. But I'm glad we're having the conversation about top 4, not like last couple of years, last year, where we're like, or if we win, we can stay in the 8. So it's a lot better position to be in.
Okay, so quick little facts before we move on to the man of the matches. We have now beaten every other Queensland team twice this year. We are undefeated, therefore regaining the title of the best Queensland team in the NRL. So good
Yes,
stuff
sir.
there. Also, just another one, like how many other teams can lose their starting halves and go up the ladder? So that's
Yeah.
a pretty impressive little thing there that will most likely tear apart the minds of haters all around the NRL as well. But we'll stay humble and we'll move on into the storm that's coming up. Man of the matches, the Thoroughbreds. No surprise here, the exact same as last week. It was Walsh up against Stags. However, this time it wasn't 50-50 and Stags took it out. Chronically, I think the old Rocks and Diamonds might have been wearing a bit thin on the Thoroughbreds this week. Stags got it. He played 80 minutes, 4 points via a try, 16 runs for 167 metres with 72 post contact. So on the average there was 10.4 metres and 4.5. One line break, 5 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 14 tackles, 0 miss, 1 ineffective for 93% efficiency. However, 3 errors, which were handling errors, 1 penalty and 1 inside 10. So little bit of extra baggage there that Stags brought in. But anyway, one of those games, like we said, it was a bit of a dogfight from the entire thing. My man of the match now, I was going to go Shibasaki. He came up and then I got to the errors and he actually had quite a few errors. So I went for, and I was quickly, who else is it going to be? And this one, I was like, I can't believe this didn't stand out to me. Payne Haas, 64 minutes, 4 points via 1 try, 11 runs for 149 metres, so 13.5 average, 55 post contact, so he was right on 5 metres, 1 line break, 6 tackle breaks, 1 offload, 35 tackles, 0 miss, 3 ineffective for 92% efficiency, and 0 errors. So well done to the big man there. Well done to Katoni as well, catching the eye of the Thoroughbred. Top stats, most tackles was Haas on 35, Cotter for 43, 1 metres was Walsh for 202, Tamalolo for 199. Line breaks, Shiba had 3, and he was outright on 3 as well. He didn't share the top spot. Cowboys had a few there. I think line break wise, there was Semi was one of them. Drinkwater as well. Walshy with 14 points. Most post contact meters was Stag on 72, Tamalolo on 76. Runs was Walsh on 20, Drinkwater on 24. Offloads, Walsh and Hunt shared 3 each. Dearden had 3 on his own. And then most tackle breaks, Walshy again on 10, and Dearden with 7. We'll get into just having a look over at the overall team. So we'll do the back line: Walsh, Karapani, Stag, Shibasaki, Mariner. This just takes me. So what we're looking at here, Thoroughbreds, is just basically their stats, and I've highlighted which group of players was the best outright against the other group. So we've got the engine room, the halves, and the bench. And when I said during the review how backline is on fire, like they are literally on fire. This is like the second or third week where they have taken out nearly every top spot, most line breaks, try assists, tackle breaks, offloads, everything in their run meters, all that sort of stuff. Like they are on fire. So it'll be very interesting to see how we go next week, because that would have definitely come up in a Storm video session. And I know they've got a coach. They've now got a Warbrick back, which scares the shit out of me. But yeah, points, we've scored 30 of them in the back line out of the 38. We had the most runs with 83 there, 934 all-run meters, 275 post-contact, 7 line breaks, 5 line break assists, 4 try assists, 30 tackle breaks alone. I know Walsh doubled everyone else's nearly, but, Shibasaki chipped in with 6 of his own in the tackle break department. And 5 offloads. So, Ringer, I'll throw to you, mate. Is there anything there in the back line that you want to sort of shout out, let the Thoroughbreds know?
Yeah, well, I think it shows you that even as Thoroughbreds, we can be a bit harsh on Walshy sometimes. Like, we still called this game a Rocks and Diamond game when he has the most run meters, He has the most tackle breaks. He has the most runs, the most offloads. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty,
Yeah.
we're probably not giving the bloke a rap for all the good things because we do see those rocks that fall into his game. But I mean, fuck me, some hell of a good stat sheet there. But got to give a rap to Josiah Karapani. 201 meters with 62 post contacts. He is an absolute menace to society on his kick returns, and like you said, the back line have been really taking a lot of pressure off the last couple of weeks, especially these back and forward games where it is a bit of a shootout, where there is no sort of rhythm that you get in with the forwards. A lot of drop ball, a lot of broken play, so the backs are taking a hell of a lot of work, which I don't mind because it means that our forwards aren't working their guts out so much. They're not taking 18 runs and getting smoked, every set. So it might help us into the back end of this season. So I'm liking that. But yeah, once again, mate, our backs, even though they're not probably noted for it around the league, are very good meter makers for us. So we'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah, 100%. Was an interesting quote that I seen today. I think it was Ben Hunt talking about Reece, how, yeah, he might have made a couple of errors, but 100% he won us the game, is what he was basically saying. And I also think that it was last week as well. Like, we're not winning the way we're winning if Reece isn't playing the way that he's playing. So, yeah, sure, throws an intercept pass and we lose some points there, but then you turn around and he's doing 2 try assists. So, he's cancelled out 1 try and he's upped us on another. It's it is roller coaster. One of the thoroughbreds on the after game thoughts said it perfectly, and I can get the quote up if we want, but he's like, it's going to hurt, but we're just going to have to deal with Reece playing the way that he's playing, sort of thing. So that's what's going to get us there. Langers, mate, what do you got there on the back line?
Yeah, like I think if somebody said to us, round 6, that by the end of the season Jesse Arthurs wouldn't have a spot in the team anymore,
Yeah,
you'd be like, "No, you're off your fucking head." Like he was leading the try scorers for the whole season, for the whole NRL for a fair while there, and now like you look at those stats from the back line. How's that boy ever gonna make a spot? Get the spot again? Like like you sort of got a feel for him because I mean he is not a terrible player by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, like this backline is, yeah, like you're absolutely right, Britto. They are absolutely firing. 83 run meters for 934 run meters. The
Yeah.
lowest amount of run meters was 167.
yeah.
Everybody else got at least that
And
and more.
that was an aggressive Stags.
And that was Stags, like, yeah, and he,
Yeah.
he wasn't slouching off. So just, yeah, just remarkable stats there. So good to see. Obviously, the veggies that come with those sort of Ferraris, 14 errors and 13 handling errors just from the back line. Like, that's
Yeah.
obviously not great. 5 from Walsh for errors and 5 handling errors as well. So that's definitely where the rocks sort of start coming into it. But yeah, like I think, the Thoroughbred is right. Like, we don't win the games without Walsh. Maybe we play a different style, sure, but yeah, like at least he's not losing us games at this point in time,
Yeah,
which is always good. Like yeah, like I said in the game review, like he did a cutout pass, got intercepted, and certain players in this NRL they would go into their shell after that, but Reece definitely didn't because 3 minutes later he did another cutout pass and put someone over for a try. So you absolutely take that. He does cop an absolute pizzling in the media and obviously at the grounds. Obviously not the home ground if they're playing at Suncorp, but every other ground. And that's in Townsville. So you can only imagine what he gets down in New South
yeah,
Wales. So it probably won't be any better. So good to see that Reece, who I think people forget is 23 years old. So
Yeah.
he's still young. He's still maturing as a man and as an NRL player. Like, he's going to be around for a long time. And, from what just sort of previous sort of evidence from just people in the NRL for a long time, those sort of wayward thinking decisions, that drops over time as they mature as a player and as a human being. So, yeah, all positives from Reece. Like, yeah, it is frustrating at times to watch him make some of those questionable decisions and whatnot. But then, yeah, it's refreshing, I guess, to like, you may have that mentality, but then if you see these stats that Britto puts up, like, yeah, there's worse options out there for us as a team, and as a leader, without being the captain, he's definitely a leader. He can definitely dictate play, and like a lot of other players around that need to wrap around his sort of style of play. And I think Matt has done a really good job of putting people in those positions that can play with how Reece plays. So, yeah, it's good to see. Good to see. Yeah, but errors and handling errors, that probably needs to be addressed. But it was, yeah, Cowboys definitely did drag us down to that sort of gameplay, I guess. So, yeah, hopefully we can sort of tidy that up against the Storm, that's for sure, because that will definitely be an issue if we don't.
Yeah, I think the litmus test for Reece Walsh at the moment is if you're 6 behind with 10 minutes to go, do you want him in your team or not in your team? Like, do you want him playing for you or playing against you? Because at the moment he might make some rocks, but Jesus, you want him in the trenches there when you're chasing a game, because he's one of the very few players that can literally turn something out of nothing. And I think that's the test that Thoroughbreds need to put themselves through at the moment, is that, do you want him on your team or do you want to be playing against him? Because I definitely don't want to be playing against him.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
100%.
like,
Oh,
perfect evidence from that. Sorry, Bretto. Perfect
yeah.
evidence of that is the 40 minutes try at halftime. Created
Yeah.
something out of nothing, threw that long ball to Dean to put him into space, and then supported him really, really well. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely with you there, Ringer. You definitely want him on your team if you're down by 6 with a couple of minutes to go, because he is going to try to do something, and if you're going to lose, well, you might as well lose by 12 with him actually having a dig. So, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with you there, mate. I'm with you.
Quick shout out to his kicking game as well. It's interesting that you pointed out that he was putting a bit of extra oomph into it. He was kicking, 6 kicks for 233 meters. That's more closer to the 40 meters than average. Normally he sits around that 28, 32 meters. Yeah, putting a bit of oomph in there. We'll quickly move on. We've got the halves here: Walters, Hunt, Pakesy. Walters and Hunt obviously played 80 minutes. Pakesy got through 40, which was good to see. I mean, not a lot to write home here about. It was good to see that Benny Hunt took 8 runs. Walters had 6, so again, he wasn't really letting the ball fly just willy-nilly. Hunt kicked at 7 kicks for 238, so around what Walsh was doing as well, but he had a perfect game when it came to errors, which was good to see. 93% tackle efficiency for Pakesy, 25 with 1 missed and 1 ineffective, so that was good. Anything here, Langers, mate, that you wanna point out?
Oh, I'm just glad that Pakesy went for a run this game.
Yeah,
He was all duck
Yeah.
eggs last game. So yeah, good to see him make 1 run in 13 meters. So you take that. You're looking for that 3. You're looking for 10 meters run meters and that 3 post contact meters, and yeah, like got 13 and 5. So you'll absolutely take that. Um, Billy Walters with 6 missed tackles. Didn't notice that. Didn't notice that, but
yeah.
yeah, so that's probably a little bit high from him, but you forgive the lad just because of that pass for Karapani. That was just, oh, mate, that was, yeah, next level. So yeah, good on him for that. But yeah, no, like it was. I mean, yeah, like we've said it before, 6 and 7 with Walters and Hunt. It's not who you're expecting to see, but still doing a fine job. So yeah, if Reynolds comes back, it's going to be a headache for Madge to see who he's going to put there. That's for sure.
100%. Ringer, mate, anything there you want to shout out?
Yeah, just quickly, mirroring what Langer said, Walters did great, but he definitely had those 6 missed tackles. So that's something that, no doubt Bellamy and Cleary and Ricky Stewart and all the great coaches that we're going to be coming up against will be targeting if we don't have a change in our halves. And I just wanted to quickly shout out Corey Pakes' service out of dummy half is up there with some of the best in the NRL, I think, because he mightn't take a run and he mightn't he's never going to get his name up in lights, but there is not one single time where a forward is having to check his run or if they're screaming for a ball on a short side play that the half or Reece isn't getting the ball out in front, keeping the momentum cracking. And I think if you go back and watch the game, a lot of our momentum plays that get us points come off the back of that crisp service out of dummy half that just hits whoever's calling for it out in front on the chest wherever they want it. So it's something to, it's so good to see that he's not a well beater. No one's probably gonna take him off our hands unless they're watching really closely, and he's doing this sort of job for us. And Huddy just had a great captain's knock, mate. He was chipping blokes left, right, and centre. You see him; he looked like a disappointed granddad at times. There, like hands on hips, Nelly, just like shaking his head, like you fucking idiots. Like it was pretty funny at times.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we'll go on to the forward pack there, the engine room. Jensen, Haas, Hunt, Ricky, Carrigan. 41 minutes from Jensen, 64 from Haas, 57 from Hunt. Didn't actually see him going off, so hopefully, I'm assuming he came off for Piakura. Was that right? Anyway, Ricky did 80, Carrigan did 64 of the good ones. Shout out to Ricky again, pretty Ricky. I love him. 13 runs, getting into those double digits. He had the most runs for the fullback, 116 meters, 45 post contact.
Yep.
Always been getting into his work, which is really good. And then backing it up with tackles, 34 tackles. He had 3 missed and 3 ineffective, so he ended up with 85%. But it was a really good game from Ricky again, just solid. Couple of errors, but hopefully, he can sort of clean that up as well. Shout out to Jensen, topping the efficiency there with the tackles, 96, 25 tackles, 0 missed, 1 ineffective. Solid. Good stuff there. Langers, anything you want to highlight in the engine room?
Payne motherfucking Haas. Let's just give him a little bit more of a glazing there. Because 11 runs, 49 run meters, 55 post contact, 5 meters on average every single run post contact. But that's with 3 lads hanging off him. Nobody is tackling that bloke one-on-one. It's always a gang, effort by multiple defenders. And the lad's still punching out 5 post-contact meters every single run. Like, fuck. It is phenomenal effort by that big fella. So kudos to him. But just looking over in sort of the errors sort of column, a lot of green ticks there, mate, which is good to see. Like he had a clean sheet, Jensen had a clean sheet, Paddy he had a clean sheet. Only Ricky had 1 error, 1 handling error, and Jaden Hunt had 1 penalty. So very good to see on that part, because there are certain teams out there with their engine room can get a bit sloppy and throw the high shot out there and start racking up those sort of errors and penalties. So good to see our engine room being a bit sort of conserved in that area. So good to see, mate. Fucking love those boys. Absolutely.
Yeah, good shit. Real quick with Carrigan, I know that he's been a bit off lately. Do you think he's carrying a injury of some sort, or do you think it's just because we have had the 2 halves out and he sort of had to be a bit more of a leader when it comes out there? I don't know, like 64 minutes, only doing 9 runs for 101 meters, 29 tackles. That's not Paddy numbers sort of thing. So, hopefully he's all right, but good to see that he's still not giving away errors.
I think he's just sort of playing more of that link role rather than, just taking the ball and running up, probably a little bit more. You still have him in your team every single week.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a question that you'd pick him if you've got the option to pick him. yeah, maybe he is just sort of playing a bit more of a team role than just, one up and runs, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe he's just waiting for finals to unleash a little bit. We are a bit skinny on that in that sort of department. So, is that it? Did I ask you, Ringer, about the injured room? Or you're good?
Not yet. I only got a couple of quick
Tell
points
us, mate.
anyway,
What do you
mate.
reckon?
It doesn't matter. I just wanted to say, much improved game from Corey Jensen. I thought his intensity and his hit ups was way up on the last couple of weeks. So maybe he was just a bit tender coming back from that injury. Jordan Ricky been very good. I think they would probably be giving him shit though about getting held up by Scott Drinkwater, who hasn't made a tackle in about fucking 300 games. So I'm sure they'll be ribbing him about that. And the last thing quickly is that, has anyone else felt a lot more comfortable with Jaden Hunt out on an edge than Jack Goz? Like, love Jack Goz.
Yeah.
Love, like, he's a good bloke, and he can play fucking outstanding when he turns it on, but he always gives you that bit of anxiety because you're waiting for the drop ball or the silly defensive read or something like that. Jay Hunt hasn't given me those sort of nerves. I had been waiting to sort of pounce on him to say, come on, we've got to get Brendan Piakura back, and that sort of hasn't happened. So, yeah, I just found that interesting. Going through the stat sheets too, pretty good. Like a few more hit-ups, but I mean, none of the forwards had a lot of hit-ups in this game. 7 runs, 82 metres. Like, you can't sort of beat that. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting that we haven't had that anxiety on that edge for a while, and we haven't, we talk about our halves being missing. Well, we're down to our third pick, second rower on that left edge. And, yeah, he seems to be holding up nicely. So we've probably got a bit more depth there than we thought.
Yeah. He can hit too, actually. I did think there was one good shot, and it was Jaden. I don't know who he did it on.
too, of all people.
That's right.
Lolo, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah. He's got really good technique. All right. We will move on to the super subs here. Smoothie, who obviously got through a lot more minutes than what he was expecting with 40. Heatherton did 49. Tolte and Piakura. Good to see Piakura back on a team list. Tolte and him got through 22, 23 minutes. Hetherington, big shout out here, got to double digits. He wasn't out there any longer than what he had to be. So he did 12 runs, 119 metres, 59 post contact, which was really good, and then backed it up with 35 tackles, 3 missed, and 1 ineffective for 90% efficiency and a clean sheet of errors. So well done, Kobe. Got them fast feet going. I think, did he get a couple of line breaks? Yeah, he got 1 line break there. I was a bit harsh not to be awarded another line break assist there with him and Jaden teaming up, but anyway. We'll move on there. Ringer, I'll go to you first, so I don't forget you, mate. What do you got on the super subs?
It's okay. I don't have issues about being left out or nothing, but no. But Kobe's definitely since Kobe's moved back to the bench, I think that's been where our upward trajectory has started, because you lose nothing when Kobe comes on. It's just energy, isn't it? He brings energy. Every hit up, he's having a red hot crack. He's so close to having a moment where he breaks through and gets an offload away. Like, he always seems to make half breaks because he's got those fast, like, good leg speed, and sort of gets in behind the ruck and just as a general pest. And he hits hard. Like, he does hit hard. If he gets hold of them, they stop. There's no sort of, like, he tightens up on middle so much. He's just a completely different body shape too. When you start with Jensen, Paddy and Payne, to bring on Kobe, just sort of, it's just that little bit more agile side-to-side body shape in the middle. And I thought Piakura looked good, mate. He brought some good energy. Good to see him not knock himself out. He did give away a penalty, which I thought was pretty unlucky in that one play the ball. But, I thought he looked good, mate. I liked his energy. And, I think if Jaden's going to stay consistent and keep defending like he is on that edge, it's going to be a big test this week coming up with Eli Katoa. But I mean, it's a pretty good super sub to have sitting there, isn't it, Brendan Piakura? Because you know what he's like. He can bring that energy. He can bring that speed. He could probably play centre at a pinch. He could definitely defend out there if we needed him to, if we did have an injury in the back line. So, yeah, I'm not mad about it, mate, having him sitting there on the bench, because you could even throw him in the middle for 20 minutes and just say, go mad if we were desperate and really needed to change that momentum. So, yeah, hopefully. But, yeah, mate, Kobe, winner for me.
Good stuff. What about you, Langus, mate? Anything else there?
Yeah, no, definitely Kobe's he's the standout for the bench because, yeah, like 12 runs, 119 run meters. So there's your 10 meters per run, and 59 post contact. So that's 5 post contact meters nearly every single run. So that's Payne Haas levels, like, dare I say. So yeah, like, good shit there. Ben Talty, only 22 minutes gameplay. Like, we love Talty here at Penalty Broncos. So, I would have liked to see him get a couple of more minutes. But yeah, like, apart from that, yeah, no, it's all sort of pretty good for our subs, mate. That's for sure.
Yep, good stuff. Hopefully we don't see, I'll have a name up here that might make an appearance this week on team list, but we'll discuss that when we get there. But it's looking pretty solid, and I reckon we do show up a little bit better than what we did for the Cows there, especially at home. Last home game of the regular season. Hopefully we potentially might get one more during the finals or whatnot, depending on where we finish and how we go. But we'll get into that as well. That brings up our 14th win for the season. We are 14-9. We are 7 apiece with 13 pluses and 1 to 12. So for those following along at home, Langers isn't exactly leading you down the garden path with his 13 plus bets every week. They are hitting occasionally. But yeah, the for and against is 156 now. We've got 100 points in the first half, 56 in the second half. So starting to round it out quite nicely there. All right, we will move on to the Gronk, and then we have a little bit of a giveaway to get through after this one. So let me get the screen up here for our friend, the Gronk, whose season starts or ends now, should I say.
I wonder if he's going to jump across. I wonder if he's going to come to our side and support us into the finals as the only Queensland team.
See how we go.
Well, boys, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't ecstatic that the fucking year is over for us, actually. Another painful year. And it turns out that rugby league is split into two key facets, attack and defence. And we're getting one right and the other fucking terribly wrong. Again, this would probably be our third year. And I can't actually see anything changing next year if we don't get fucking Toddy moving or a new defensive coach or something. But as far as the Derby goes, look, it seemed pretty obvious early that you were going to have too many weapons in your duffel bag for us to hold back. I mean, we fucking sat there and gunslung with yous for a little bit, but yeah, bloody Reece, the prick. I don't hate him as much now. I've got him in my SuperCoach team, which actually didn't help me because fucking Tim Williams fucked me in our head-to-head final. So, shout out Mark Nwangani Tuase for that. So, yeah, boys, a little bit less hate now coming from the Gronk because we're dead and buried and you're the fucking last remaining hope for us Queenslanders. So, don't fuck it up.
I'm surprised he didn't jump on the Dolphins, even though they're mathematically still a chance. For him to jump over to us is a big deal. So, what do you reckon there, Ringer? What are your thoughts on the Gronk?
Yeah, well, it's good to see that he's jumped on the Reece bandwagon. Those of us that were called silly for getting him, I got handed a draft comp win because someone traded him out and wanted to do a swap. So I'm dancing on the rooftops, mate. But Yeah, no, poor old Gronk. He's dead right about his poor old Cowboys. Like every year, it's almost, it's almost a given that you've got to, try and score points to beat them because they can score 24 to 30 points a game on their ear, but they could concede 40. So yeah, it's uphill battle for them, and ecstatic that this season's over is a big call. That tells you exactly where the fans are at. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens up at Castle Hill. That's for true.
What about you, Langers, mate?
Yeah, no, I got to agree with me, mate. The Gronk, I think, Cowboys in the defensive area definitely need, something to be addressed there because, just looking at the ladder, they are 146 in the negative for the for and against. So not great from the Cowboys. And this isn't like a new thing this year either. Like what the Gronk said, it's been for a couple of years now. So yeah, bit disappointing if you're a Cowboys fan, but no, still happy with the result, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 6th Derby win in a row for the Broncos.
sir.
So get that in you. All right. So as we said on the last episode, we finally cracked the 1K on Instagram with the followers there. And then we went and threw a couple of hundred on top of that. So that we're well and truly away from the one. We're not dipping below it anytime soon unless one of us do something to cancel us or whatever, but which could happen at any minute. So hang around for that. So what we did, we put the call out. Comment your favorite Bronco. We didn't specify whether it was male or female. Actually, yes, we did. It could be from either one or the other. A few of us have double dipped and gave us your man and your woman, which is fine, which is good. So what we've done here, and I'll share it as I explain it. Hopefully I get the right window first. That's the one that I want. All right, so on the screen here, we have all the names of the Broncos that got nominated from everyone that commented away. We're going to spin this wheel. We're going to see whose name comes up. Then we're going to check how many people voted for him. That number will then get put into another wheel. We'll spin it. If you're third on the list and 3 comes up, then you have won the giveaway packs. There's a little bit of cool sounds going on here too, so mind you, while we play with our fancy new toy here, we'll give it a spin. Payne or Darren Lockyer.
Lockie. Popular too.
All right. Okay, let's have a look. I think he
Damn,
was,
I thought
yeah.
that was Payne Haas for sure then.
Yeah. I'll just rub it into him a bit here. Rob Atts, mate, if you had Payne Haas, unlucky to miss out there. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 people who went with Darren Lockyer. So let me just adjust this one.
25% chance to win. Good odds.
Yeah.
Good odds, all right. I'll get
Good
the
luck,
right
Thoroughbred.
screen up. All righty. We've got that there. We'll give it a spin. 1 through 4. Two's got it.
Is it?
All right. 2's got it. Okay. Let us go to the screen. Bear with us here, Thoroughbreds.
Technical difficulty.
There we go. Giveaway tracker. Technical deal. I am the technical difficulty. Shem Brookenshire
Nice.
has won it here. And now I have been talking to this lad because he is in New Zealand.
Nice.
He's part of the Broncos fans group. That's FANZ Facebook group. There's about 400 in there. He's been telling us when they go to the games that happen in New Zealand, they all buy tickets together, and they all sit in the one part of the grandstand, cheer them on, cheer the boys on. So that's good. I have said that if we do ever get over to the land of the long white cloud, that we'll hit them up. We'll probably sit with them as well. That way we don't get bashed if we're sitting in any other part of the grandstand. But yeah, well done, Shem. We'll be in contact with you, mate, to let you know. We'll get your address off here and all that sort of stuff as well. Didn't
It seems
factor in.
It seems fitting that the country that hosted Middle Earth, and we got a winner that has a name of Brookenshire. It fucking fits. It's good. I love it.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, that's our first giveaway done and dusted. We'll get Shem to bloody do some photos and shit when he gets it and whatnot. So, good stuff. We'll move on to the week ahead here. We'll run through it real quick. It's going to be an exciting game Thursday night. I'm glad that it's going to be the first cab off the rank, because if I had to wait all the way till like a Sunday afternoon or something, that would just tear me to pieces. With the injuries and suspensions, we've got Corey Pakes got put on report for that grade 1 dangerous contact. Now, it is his first offence, so that's a $1,000 or $1,500 fine, regardless of what he plays there and whatnot. So, but he is free to play. He'll be lining up on the team list on Tuesday. And then onto the injuries. We've got, obviously, Hayes Perham, Jack Goz out for the season there. Ben Decora, now, he's been earmarked, depending on where you read, round 26, 27, first week of the finals. He could potentially turn up on team lists. I don't know whether you'd run him in Q Cup a couple of times or once even before we get to the finals or whatnot, or do we need him, that sort of thing. Interesting to see if he shows up on the extended. Xavier Willison, he's still got week 2 of the finals potentially coming back, so he may still play this year. Adam Reynolds, now, he was on the extended bench before this week. The rumour is that he re-aggravated that hamstring during training, so now he's pushed out to week 1 of the finals. I've always had him down as week 1 of the finals, so not really sure who to believe there or what. I can't see us why, if we're winning the way we're winning, why we would be rushing him back. So I think smoke and mirrors, to be honest. But anyway, we'll see how that pans out. Cobbo and Ezra, I highly doubt they're playing again this year. Even if we do make the grand final, I think what we've got is what we're going to be running. So it'll be a bit risky to bring them back in unless we absolutely have to because of injuries or whatnot. So moving on to that, so Broncos v Storm, Thursday, 7:50 p.m, Suncorp. Wrap around your television screens or get down to Suncorp for this one. Going to be an absolute classic. Both teams locked away. The only thing is whether we play the Raiders or the Panthers potentially, or the Roosters in the first weeks. That's all that's at stake here. Rome Hughes potentially will be back for this one, so that upsets me a little bit. But hey, if we're going to win the whole thing, we've got to play them eventually, so we might as well dive right down into it. Head-to-head, we've faced them 58 times with 1 draw. 43 wins, 74% of the time it goes by way of the Storm. 14 wins to us, 24% of the time to us. Ladder positioning, 2nd and 4th as we speak. Wins this season, 17 out of 23 for 74% for the Storm. 14 out of 23 for 64% to us. They are $2.60 to win the premiership, $1.89 on this game. We are $10 in from 19. So we went all the way out to 34. Now we're back into to 10. But we are $1.95, and I think that they have absolutely nailed that. I am confident. Will I think the Storm will win? Yeah, of course. But I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a really good game. $1.95 to $1.89 split. I feel like it's right there in that ballpark. The last time we met was that infamous night where we lost both our halves, round 23 at Amy Park. 22-2, 4 tries to 0. Unfortunately, we went down there. Their last 5 games looked good up until this weekend, where the Mark Ngawanganitawase put an absolute clinic on them, which showed a couple of chinks in their armor, I reckon. So we'll see how we go. Obviously, with us, we've had a Cowboys win, Knights win, Dolphins win, Storm loss, Rabbits win was our last 5 games. So we'll move on to that. Real quick, Ringer, chances of the game, outcome. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the betting market's got it spot on. I think this is a flip of a coin. Whoever turns up on the night takes the chocolates. I think we can definitely win. Just depends really whether we go to the dropsies or not, really.
Yeah. What about you, Langus, mate?
Yeah, look, Broncos 13 plus is paying $3.90, but hey, Storm 13 plus is paying $4.25. So even the the sports bet and the whatnot think that there's a better chance of Broncos 13 plus. So that's all the
Love
evidence
that.
I need, mate. $3.90, bet responsibly.
Love that, actually. I really do love that. All right. Onto the tipping comp real quick. We have a penalty Broncos lockout for the tipping comp this weekend. Slippery Gypsy Langers sitting in first there. He went 6 from 8, but played the Joker, so he took it out. Ringer 7 from 8, mate, with an 8 margin. Well played. Well played. Too bad you've only got another game to go to catch me. But anyway. I went 6 from 8 with a 13 margin, and the Gronk went 5 from 8 with a 13 margin as well. So it's getting tight. I've actually got to go because I haven't updated that. It's getting tight there. 136 to Dan R out in the lead. He is 4 in front of Slippery Gypsy. If he stumbles, will he stumble? Will the pressure be too much? I believe everyone's dusted their jokers at this point. I think it's all done and dusted. I don't think you can actually play a joker in the last round. I have to do a bit of research on that one, but we'll see. Anyway, that's where it sits. Dan R in first overall, Slippery Gypsy in second, Fletcher Zuber in third. Ringer, you are 122 points, 1 point behind me in fourth. Then we go Annie Frogs, Gronk, Kate, Master Bateman, Turbo Russ, Pain in the Haas, and Scrape Devil down the bottom there. All right, SuperCoach comp. BJ's Battlers, mate. You stumbled here a little bit, but by the looks of that, you're in the top 380. We'll see what this round finishes at, but you are looking good for the rest of the season for a great finish. You'll be at least receiving a little KFC SuperCoach bundle for the top 1,000, that's for sure. Wrap around that one. The Gronk, the Immortals, scored 1,535 points and still got dusted in his head-to-head.
That's fucked,
mate. Playing in the big leagues, up against Timmy Williams and the Guru and all that. Good Lord. Those boys put too much effort into it. But anyway, that's how they make money. Old Mates Oligarchy scored 1,519 for second. Pain in the Hunt scored 1,509 for third. Ringer, 1,489 there, mate. Took it out for the rest of us behind the Gronk. Slippery Gypsy, best for the last, 1,245.
Let me come back, boys. I've only got 10,000 to go.
Mate, you made me have a look at the ladder and where I was sitting to see if you could actually catch me next round. But I was like, surely I can't bust out that bad. But you made me look. You made me nervous. I ended up with a 1,192 because, as the last couple of weeks have shown, I am shithouse at choosing my captain. My captain scored 32 this round, so happy days with that. But we'll move on. And Strong, well above the pack. He is over 1,000 points clear of second. So good job. I think he's well and truly wrapped it up for sure. The inaugural season of Penalty Broncos league there. Best bets. Another fucking one-legged miss. And oh my God, if we didn't have so many chances in that Sharks game for KL Iro to get over. Anyway, started the weekend great. We had a Yongi go over first, I think it was. Then we had Josiah crash over on Saturday. That was great stuff. I actually fucked up on the socials. It wasn't Langer's bet, but I'll give him credit for it on the socials. It was Gronk's bet that got up. Langer's bet was Haley Maddock. And that got up
Easy
today,
one.
which was good. Easy,
Yep,
that one.
3rd minute straight in.
Yeah, could have imagine going to Mika Upton to score 4. You would have,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Ringer, KL Hero is going to be living in your head rent free, especially when he crashes over next week for 3.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Anyway,
Put all your money on him, Thoroughbreds. It's only when we don't bet on him that they bloody lose.
100% breadcrumb, that one. Swing and a miss for the Bronco bet. We are trying our absolute hardest to get this up before the end of the season. We've got a couple of more weeks to go. Hopefully we can get one, and we'll do a giveaway that way as well. Road to $1 million. Look away real quick. 4 out of 14 legs, 28% hit rate. That is disgusting considering we were over 50% the last couple of weeks. We are trying to get that one to hit, but not as hard as a Bronco bet. So,
Yeah.
but please know that if it does hit, this podcast will go to different levels.
And by levels, he means levels in Vegas hotels.
Yeah. All right. I think we're done. We've covered everything. We'll reach out to our giveaway winner tomorrow when this drops, or today if you're listening to it, I guess on the Monday. But thanks for tuning in. If you found us, please share your thoughts. Get over onto the socials and whatever. Comment away wherever you're listening to this. Let us reach out, tell your mates about us. We're steadily growing. It's good to see. Starting to get some collabs going with fellow content creators and whatnot that have been in the game for a bit, so that's exciting. Hopefully we can get some stuff really ramping up towards the end of this season, and we'll fire it off straight into the beginning of season 2026. Head over to our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you're following along to get all the alerts and everything. A like on our post costs you guys nothing, so please hand them out where you can. Comment gives us motivation and helps with the engagement. We really like seeing the interactions that happen, the banter that's going on. Sharing our content obviously introduces us to new people, so throw us up on your stories where you can. Bet responsibly, bet for fun and not for the rent. Be a contributor to society. Stay out of one another unless it's consensual, and we'll gallop off into the week. Catch us later. Have a good one.
Cheers, Thoroughbreds.
Thanks, Thoroughbreds.